Roland, man, what's going on, my boy? How you doing today? We're on air.
Oh, what's the deal, bro? What's going on?
How you doing today?
I'm all
man?
right, chilling. What's going on with it?
Introduce yourself to the camera.
Duryea, Hozay, also known as Cornbread. Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
From the east side of Detroit.
Yeah, man. The cornbread thing kills me. First of all, I love cornbread. That's why I'm saying that.
Me too.
But it's just it's kind of funny to me. But what's behind the cornbread?
The Cornbread is an elementary school name I got from a couple people.
Okay.
Ike Love, rest in peace, Zoe, and Ike Love. East Warren area. It was a joke. Told me I look like the bottom of the burnt cornbread. And, I had a nickname, so you know what people do with nicknames. They use the nickname and take it around the neighborhood, and it just went on around the country, not the country, but around the city.
Now, you are kind of a business kind of entrepreneur meeting thing. Talk about that a little bit, man. You're an entrepreneur yourself?
Yep, I'm an entrepreneur. Golden Leaf Consultation. I got a consultation company, marketing company. I've been in marketing for like 12 years.
Wow.
Yep, I got like 50 to 100 employees across the country.
Yes.
Yep, so we market Fortune 500 companies. So there's solar, electricity, gas, telecommunications.
Wow.
So, yep.
Wow, man. Very cool. How did you get into becoming an entrepreneur?
By mistake, really, you in the streets, you don't know you're an entrepreneur, but you got the tools. So I had entrepreneurship tools from the streets, and then I got the opportunity to utilize it in the business world, and I capitalized, and I kept getting better at it, and now I'm at the top of where I feel like I should be, but not at the top on where I'm gonna be type of situation.
For sure. And we're talking about Detroit specifically?
No, not Detroit. I'm in Pennsylvania right now.
Okay, so you were born in Pennsylvania?
Nope, born in Detroit.
Okay, so you were born in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
On the east side and everything. And you said kind of it translated well from being able to delegate in the streets to becoming an entrepreneur in the business world.
Exactly. Yep. So I used those same tools and put it in the business world. Got mentors, went to a few seminars, went to YouTube University. And
YouTube University.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, YouTube University. So staying on YouTube all the time, getting information, and then utilizing it.
I'm so stupid. I literally thought you
went over his head.
I literally, how they say Subway University? I was like, oh, it's the same shit. All right, that's cool, man. Yeah, so you pretty much self-educated is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Now, growing up in Detroit, was it easy for you to kind of get into the mindset of becoming an entrepreneur just because of the fact that you had to make business transactions and however you had to do that? Or was it more difficult and kind of learning in a more difficult process?
Yeah, it was uncontrolled versus being in control.
Yeah.
Because in the streets or the environment that I grew up in, it was like uncontrolled. So you got the principles, you got the behavior patterns, but it's so everywhere that you ain't using it right. It's not materializing the way that it should be in a positive way versus the negative. And also you got to have a better attitude, and you also got to care about what people say in the business world versus in the streets. You could treat people how you want to.
Now, growing up, before you even get to the point where you become a street entrepreneur,
Right.
how does it lead to the point where you become a street entrepreneur?
I grew up around it, so it stemmed from my family. I'm like, even my great grandmother was in the streets, stuff like that. So
Wow.
Dad, mama. So this all I knew and all I seen was that entrepreneur street mindset. And then I do got some positive people in my family, but it overrides, the negative overrides that. So I seen that. I was used to it. I had a great Uncle Snaps, Uncle TB, a lot of good people around me. And I seen how they did it, but I seen what they wasn't doing. A lot of people in my family or in the neighborhood, they wasn't using those tools in another atmosphere. And so that's what I did.
From your perception growing up and being involved in it, are you wise and conscious about what's happening?
Yeah, I'm very wise.
At the time, I'm saying, were you very aware?
Oh, no, because I'm like, my name Cornbread, so I'm really like, what are you talking about? I'm like all through Detroit, so I'm like, I'm riding off that. I'm loving the fame. I'm loving the name. The money cool and the business stuff is cool, but the name feel good.
Yeah.
That name feel good when you got a name from where you from and your city love you, girls love you, all the older people want to get some money with you. You got a good reputation, but you don't to the soft people. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I was focused on that shit, trying to get my name up.
Now I know, because I talked to you before, you ended up not even having to ever get in any legal trouble or anything like that, correct?
No, minor stuff. Never been in prison before.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, as far as Detroit culture, I feel like I'm the one who can actually give a a good outlook and input on it because I seen it all. I didn't miss none of it. Like a lot of artists talk about being in jail and brag about going to jail and all this type of stuff, but they missed a lot of stuff that I didn't miss. You know, anything can happen, but I'm just saying during those times, I was active, but somehow, some way, the grace of God, I didn't get in trouble, and I was able to see all my friends die and go to jail. And I'm like, everybody I hang around been through prison systems, but not me. But with that though, since I was out, it made me be more conscious of the prison system. So I'm real popular in the prison systems too. I send letters. I've been sending money for 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years almost, because I seen it. I seen it firsthand, and then I didn't like how it went. And it's a lot of situations that I should have got locked up on that I still, take care of situations like a man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you saw how everybody else was living, where their consequences lied.
Right.
At the end of the day, and when did it become a point where you knew that you had to avoid the bad decision making and the decisions that make you end up in jail or end up dead? Was there a certain conscious moment that it happened? Did something hit you that made you realize, okay, it's time to shift gears here?
The last county bid is 2 weeks. I was in jail for 2 weeks.
So wouldn't that be counting? So that to you doesn't count as like any type of...
No, I'm still like able to, It's like people can't do... These criminal backgrounds, you can't really do too much with them. County time ain't serious. 2 weeks in a week, a month. That's not serious. People really getting 50 years, 100 years, life, never coming home. You can't even tell nobody you doing 2 weeks in jail. They gon', people doing real time. I'm just happy I didn't do it at that time.
Yeah, I feel that, man. That's yeah. So when's the moment that you decide to make a shift into the business world? As far as, okay, did you decide I'm leaving the streets behind kind of mentality, or kind of how did you transition, or did you transition?
I was doing it at the same time.
Really?
So like I said, I've been doing it since I was 17 to 18. I'm one of the youngest to get in this industry. So I was battling with the music, the streets, and the business world. But I was like learning everything about all of it. So I became like mastering all three of those. And I just used all three to become who I am today. So all three of those things played a part of my business situation. The music and the streets made the business thing better. Yeah. And I executed, and I'm keep going.
How do you manage all these three elements at the same time, or things at the same time?
I got King, Urban, and Visuals. So I got him who stay on me constantly with my music and keeping posting it and keep shooting my videos. The most videos we shot in a year is like 15. So
wow.
Yeah, so we got a lot of work. And I'm good now. I'm better at delegating responsibilities. So I'm good at unifying people. And that's like my reputation in Detroit. I'm like the one who unified everybody, who brought a lot of people together and got outcasted for it. But it's okay now, 'cause I see where the city headed, everybody unifying, and I like that.
Is it a for sure thing that you got outcasted, or is it just kind of like a perception thing?
No, it was like, because Cornbread was like...
Can you bring that mic closer?
I'm on back. Because the Cornbread hang with all of the people who rob and, do the stuff. I'm there. So
yeah,
when I'm there, it's like I can't be with this. They don't like me because I be with them people. Then now my neighborhood don't like me because I be with those people. And it's like these same people, like all the rappers in the city become big rappers, and then now they in control of what's going on. And then they still looking at Cornbread versus Duryea, Hozay, the artist. And then you get the blackball situation. You get the, because like the work shouldn't go unnoticed. If I'm on all the platforms every year, I put the money up every year. I'm shooting high quality movie style videos every year.
Right.
I'm reaching the people every year. But it's like, after so many years, it's like, okay, now I get it. But this has been going on my whole career. Yeah,
and what makes you think you got blackballed? Because you feel like you're playing, in the sense they call it, playing both sides, maybe, or like you're on this side?
No, I'm not. I never beat it. I did so much with Cornbread. I've been in and out of town that they still looking at that. They don't know that time passed and I became somebody else. I evolved to something else.
Okay, I understand.
So I ain't playing both sides. It's like, don't look at me for the rumors say I am, because that's what they do.
Right.
They try to look at me for the rumors.
I hear that, man. Now becoming a successful entrepreneur, you're dealing with Fortune 500 companies, like you said.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right, baby.
No, my bad.
You're good, man. Take your time.
I'm about to mute this.
You're good.
But yeah.
Is that so now? Is it in particular as far as leaving the streets behind, as far as entrepreneurship's concerned, and now it's just focusing on that, right?
Yeah, it's been like that for years.
So that moment where you fully finished with that, was there a day, or does it? How does that work? How does that work? Where it's like, okay, I'm done with that street stuff,
Being in a bad situation, in that county jail situation.
and that's just like the end of it. After
That's
that.
it. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
I'm not the person, oh, God, get me out of here. You know how they be, God, one more chance. No, I was serious. I ain't need to do it. I'm like, just give me a way out of this that I don't got to be in the streets and still make some money.
Man,
And that's what happened.
that's the sucky part too. It's like until you get in those situations, you don't realize how bad you don't want to be in there.
That reflecting time, but you need that. Sometimes people need a lot of reflecting time. Sometimes you can do your own reflecting time and avoid those situations. But that little bit of reflecting time made me realize how my behavior and performance wasn't being lined up with where I should be and where I'm supposed to be doing.
Do you think like jail or prison helps to reform people a little bit or make them not want to go back, or do you think like it's just a cycle?
It's both. It's a cycle and it's like college for real. They compare college to prison. It's the same thing, same situation,
Or
same setup, same funding, you know. So I compare it to that. Sometimes people drop out and don't never go back to school. Sometimes people stay in school. You feel me? That's how I go.
damn. Yeah, that's he's coming from somebody who's experienced both realms. You know what I'm saying? You know, you've done it in I was lack of better words, the dirty way, obviously, and then you've done it in the professional way.
Right.
And you did it because you learned. You're able to do the professional stuff because you taught yourself and you learned from
The street stuff.
the streets. Now you saw people that didn't make the equation, like they didn't figure it out, and they're still probably there, and they're still in the trap, and they're still in that circle, in that rotation. How do you manage relationships with those people?
I just produce music. That's what my new album is called. I Can't Believe I Made It Out. So I want to be the first one to actually make it out. So I feel like nobody actually made it out of here yet. I still feel like I'm going to be the first one to make it out of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it out as your behavior and who you be around, your mindset. Nobody made it out. They still around the drug dealers. They still with guns. They still in the streets. They still speaking ill. They still speaking negative. They still speaking death. They still speaking demons. Everybody, I made it out because I ain't thinking like that. I made it out. So I use my music to push that back. Hopefully they can listen to it, regurgitate it, and then edify them and then apply it. Because I want them on these mind states. I want other people talking and thinking like this and being in situations and going to meetings and seminars and just different situations. And that's how I give it back. And that's how I try to help my people with it.
Wow, man, that's like a crazy way of thinking about it. Because some people would think making it out just means you have enough money to not have to live in those circumstances.
What's money? It ain't nothing to get $1 million. It's not hard to get $1 million. Anybody who have seen real money and no money, it's not hard to get $1 million. How are you gonna get that million? What are you willing to jeopardize and do for that million? You got people that's willing to kill for that million. You got people that's willing to work for that million. You got people that's willing to do so many different things for that million. It's not hard to get $1 million. It's hard to keep $1 million. That's what it is. It's hard to keep $1 million and grow $1 million. But it's like, it's up to you. And how you gonna get it? How you gonna get the $1 million? I don't feel like having money and all that stuff make you. Ask any of those people. Them guys still don't got a good spirit and a good body. They still got the negative energy on them. They still ain't at peace with themselves. With all that, they still got the same mindset. They still doing certain things. I ain't perfect, but I ain't doing what I used to do. I ain't doing what they doing, and I ain't did it, and I'm not gonna do it no more.
Wow.
So until people can start thinking like this and being like this, nobody made it out. I'm the first one to make it out.
Now, are you saying that you're the first one to make it out right now as far as you are, or are you saying the tape is an expression of getting to that point?
No, I'm out of there.
You're out. So you just feel like you're out. Like
Yeah, anything I be around is because it's the family. Like I said, I'm around it by family, but this ain't my everyday thing. I'm in the business world, in the corporate world, trying to travel the globe and trying to help people.
What's it like in this world that you live in now that, it's just professionalism and obviously just massive deals going on all the time and stuff like that? What's it like? Just give us the experience of how you delegate these companies and stuff.
So this is what you do, right? This for anybody, any entrepreneur, right? I used to hear the greatest people say this all the time, and I never understood what they mean by this. A lot of rich men gave me a lot of wisdom. A few of them told me, Duryea, we hire A students and we D students. I ain't get that. I'm like, what you mean? I never got that. And then I heard another one like, you hire people to do what you don't know how to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I use those two tools to make everything I do grow in the business. I hire people that know how to do what I don't know how to do, and that's how I grow.
What skill set is that kind of under?
Customer service skills, deals, deal making, business to business deals, marketing, consulting, digital marketing, administrative work. So many different levels and components in it.
And as far as you're concerned, what gives you the ability to be able to do all this? Like, is there, are you just really good at communication? Like, are you really good at organizing? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's what Cornbread did. Cornbread was the person who, on Monday I was robbing with somebody on 6 Mile. On Saturday I was robbing with somebody on Mac. I just knew how to balance the city. And then I took it to the States, and I started playing with the States like that. And then it's like, all right, damn. As soon as I figured out that I didn't have to stay in my neighborhood, it was over. You could ask any artist in Detroit or any street people, because the streets gonna see this. The people in the trenches gonna see this, so they know I ain't lying. I was all around Detroit, and I was around some of the money-making people and some of the top dogs in Detroit.
Yeah, man.
Not gang switching, but Duryea, Cornbread stand alone. I ain't with nobody gang. They gonna tell you that I ain't never been in no gang. They know where I'm from, though. They know where I'm from. So that's just what that is. I use those tools, and I took it to the business.
So you never put yourself in a situation where you're tied into something, and now people are like, "Oh, you belong here," or
Right.
you don't
Hate me by myself.
So you feel comfortable in Detroit?
Yeah, I'm like Detroit love me, because I didn't really do as much as everybody else did. Like, they gotta have armed guards in the hood. I don't gotta do that. These people in these hoods, they love me. They top dogs. They love me. The person that they rap about in the song that went to jail, they love me. You're not gonna touch me. And then I related to almost everybody in Detroit. You know, I'm a real connected person through relationships and through relatives.
Now, I did listen to a lot of your music, man. One song in particular that stood out to me was "Better Way."
Wow.
And nobody ever says that to you?
No,
Really?
They don't even like that music by me.
Oh, really? Well, I liked it a lot. I'm more appreciative of kind of those more melodic flows and more kind of like the beat and the choice of cadence and everything that you did on it. It feels more real. It's very real to me. Like, just hearing it, it's like I connect with it, similar to like an early Wyclef, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the idea. I gotta talk about that song. I'm surprised nobody brings it up to you, but talk about that song and when you were creating it, what was going on.
It was a real life situation. About to have my son, dealing with my kids.
Yeah.
The hardest thing we got to deal with when you don't marry the girl that you have babies by, and then making sure that they, speaking about it, and then dealing with negative females, and just in general. It's always gonna be a better way. It's gonna be a better way out of it. So that was the whole topic of the song, and the hook explained it well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and talking about these relationships and stuff like that, and how they can interfere with your life, even if it's a positive thing, even if it's a positive person, it can still interfere, because it's like, listen, man, if I had kids or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to do. Huh?
You don't got no kids?
Nah, but I wouldn't be able to do shit.
Bro, you wouldn't.
I would be done. I'm a rap. It's over. There's no, I'm gonna do that podcast. No, man, I'm working at Kmart or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do both.
Yeah.
Now, so talk about the meaning of that song a little bit more in depth now. Those are real life situations on your account. And so talk about how you facilitated through that and kind of walk us through that story a little bit.
Yeah, that's a real spiritual song too. So the second verse is real spiritual. So it's crazy that we in October and we talk about this, but that song's spiritual. It's about like seeing little spiritual shit, and how to, like, in Detroit, this is a spiritual place. It's like the #1 in the world, top 5 in the whole world. So when you from Detroit, you see stuff that other people don't spiritually, and you got to navigate through that. And people have that on them, and it can affect you. So you got to cleanse yourself, separate yourself, get some guidance from the Creator and the Savior, and then fix that situation, because it is dark out here.
Yeah, it's a very spiritual aspect. Obviously, in India, they believe heavily in that. Like, you know what I mean? Like the environment around, the energy around. Even if somebody dies in a certain location, it's like people.
It's sacred or it's like damn location.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like people don't believe that shit. But like, bro, I've been to like where people have been killed, and it's like I didn't know until like after I felt the vibrations. Like, why the fuck is it so fucking weird in this bitch? And then like, you know, they like 12 people got killed in that basement. I'm like,
yeah. Oh damn, that's who touched me.
It's not even that touch. It's just that fucking collective.
Yeah,
pulsating
energy.
vibration. Yeah, like what the fuck is this?
What
Like,
you mean? You know, the body dies, but the spirit don't.
facts.
So them places is, you know, that's another subject. But you know,
Yeah.
energy is forever. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, that song really stuck out to me. I ended up just writing out your playlist. I know you had two different kind of tapes in 2020.
Yeah, I got like 15 tapes going back to 2010.
Right. I went through those. I went through the more kind of the more recent stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what really went through my mind when I was listening to your music. I literally thought to myself like, damn, I need to start listening to artists that I haven't really been paying too much attention to more. Like, this shit is fire. And it's like, how many artists are out here and it's like, we don't pay enough attention to them.
That's what I came here for. I ain't never did an interview. Cuz said you need to go in there. People been telling me for like a month. Speak, go talk. So I want to do that. You know, I want to speak for them, for us, for the artists who like SOE, plug, you feel me? Like, it's so many artists, like Motown Ty, Big 4Ps, Boomer, it's so many artists, D Street, so many artists, E-Lyric, TB, so many artists. I can keep going, I can just keep naming.
Yeah.
Man, just so many artists that I can name that
No,
people
but
don't listen to that's real good.
Yeah, there's a lot of unheard talent in Detroit. It's kind of shocking. Sometimes you got to go to the Apple Music to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Because you can't just rely on YouTube. You can't just go to their YouTube and watch 3 music videos and say it. Like that's what they are. That's it. It's like
You got to figure them out.
Yeah, you got to look it up. But it's a competition out here. Now, how much is music the focus for you right now compared to the business realm?
Right now, the business good. Now I can focus on the music, because that's another thing I want to show. Like, a lot of people think you got to sell dope to get the money for the music, or they brag about. I don't want to use him as an example, but it's an artist that signed to a big label who colored his money, and then he was like, I got this money in reminder of when I was in the streets. I used my money. I kept some of my money, kept $2 bills, and it reminded me. And I thought in my head, like, wow, just imagine how many people thinking like that. Like, they need that stamp from the streets to show that they can get money to invest into the music.
What's the artist's name?
I don't want to say their name because that's why I'm blackballed.
Oh, that person is the reason that you're blackballed?
No, this person in the industry, I don't want to say him because, like, I just know.
Oh, it's gonna come back. Yeah, how it comes back to you.
Yeah, because this is my situation.
Right.
I want to try something different this time. I don't want to say no names.
Bring that mic up a little bit.
I don't want to say no names, but a lot of people. That's a big artist, and everybody's seen this interview probably.
Okay, for sure.
He gave Charlamagne, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy the money.
And it's colored.
It's colored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was like, it reminded me of the street, so I just keep it with me. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wow. What about having a check on the wall at your crib that reminds you of your first, like?
Remember that Mr. T interview? Did you ever see that Mr. T interview with this lady?
Remind me.
He was wearing jewelry. He was dressed up very nice, and then the interviewer said, "Why are you dressed so nice, but your shoes are all fucked up?"
Right.
And his shoes were fucked up.
Right.
And he's like, "I wear these to remind myself where I came from."
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And that was like strong. He got serious when he said that shit.
Yeah, that means something.
Yeah.
So he probably went through a lot. He probably had to walk through a lot with those shoes. But it's a difference when you glorify the streets and dope and murder and robbery.
Yeah.
That's what these rappers do with that, to remind people. That was like when he showed you the shoes, he like, I had to walk along, I had to go through a lot. That's subliminal. That's a message. There don't be no messages when they do what they do and glorify what they did. I don't never want to talk about what I did or what I had to do to get to corporate. I will, but I don't. It's not. I'm not. I would talk about it, but not glorify it. It'll be in a message way versus how they do it.
Because you got to look at the traumatizing aspects of having to go through the life of living in the hood and the trap and all that stuff, right? And then not to compare it to the military, the army. Or
It is the same thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, because the only reason I don't want to say that is because I'm not experienced. I haven't been involved in it to know.
Right.
But I'm just seeing it. It's like war on both ends, right? But what happens when you leave the war? Post-traumatic stress.
PTSD.
Yeah, all
you
that
can't
shit.
sleep.
All that.
You gotta get therapy.
Exactly.
You gotta take medication.
And so you got to think about it like that. Like all these people, Why do you think when you ever ask somebody in the military, like, how many people did you kill? Like, you never ask that question.
Never. Their eyes might turn red.
Yeah, they might, and then everything's gonna happen, right? But if you talk to a rapper,
they glorifying it.
So it's like
it's not this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They, like I was just saying, this is like when people do something to somebody for real, you don't want to think about it. It's
so
like,
you think it's so. What are you saying? Are you saying more like it's cap most likely?
It's cap, bro. Like when I heard, I could say his name, Kevin Gates. That's the homie. He say, a lot of these rappers ain't never seen no soul come on no body. So you won't even behave yourself like this in those manners if you seen that happen or if you seen them type of situations. You'll behave yourself in a whole different type of manner. And I always tell this to people, until you see somebody doubt or lose somebody close to you, you'll never understand life for real. You don't understand real pain and hurt. You'll never know how that feel for real. You still living off a false reality because you don't know what real pain feel like.
The only thing I could say to that is that the only people who probably do something and don't have that PTSD from it is because they were on drugs. That's the only thing I can fucking think of. Because maybe you were just so disoriented
that you ain't care.
That you didn't even, and you don't even remember. If you watch a lot of like the serial killer documentaries or if you watch Forensic Files or whatever, they'll be like, I blacked out and then the person died. So it's like you don't even remember killing that person.
You don't.
So that's the only thing I can think of for real. That's like the only thing I can think of.
That's a good one, but everybody got that excuse though?
No, you're right.
So we got 100 artists and everybody gonna use that. All right, we gonna use that for all y'all.
But now it's selling, right? So do you think music could still sell if you take that element out of it?
It's about to sell right now. This is the interview of the turning point. I'm telling you. Not humbly I say that. Not because I ain't speaking for me. This for everybody.
Who do you see doing it that is successful where they're not glorifying that aspect of music?
Not a lot of people, because my aspect about the whole music is it ain't hip hop. So it's like it's all rap. So nobody really doing it like for real.
Like, would you consider J. Cole to be somebody that?
No, that's not it.
You don't think it's it?
No, Dave East maybe. I'll give it to Dave East. He give me the hip hop, or like what else? Who else? I don't know.
Really?
I don't know nobody else who giving Joy Badass. What's up, Joy? Who else? Rock Marciano. Like, I don't know. Them people like that, but I don't see it. Payroll. Like that. Stuff like that.
Now, with your music, what's kind of the blueprint as far as the type of music you're looking for in the future and as far as how you're going to push the music out and everything like that?
I don't know. I just want to push it out. I just want to get it out. I just want to get it out to the masses, do as many interviews as I got to, because the music ain't the thing, because I got a lot of it and I can always put it out. But it's about getting people to like recognize me and get to know me.
Yeah.
You know, because people can listen to your music all day and stop because they don't know who you are. They don't know nothing about you. These rappers be like,
dog, you said this one line in one of your tracks. You said, like, I forget exactly what you said. We were looking out the window for peace, and then it was the feds.
Yes.
That shit was like fire, bro. That shit was fire. Because I'm like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh fuck.
No,
like,
for real.
Hit. Damn, was that true? Is that like true life, or is that just kind of
all
like
my situations real? I ain't never lied in one rap. You can listen to all my raps all day and be like, you can imagine everything I say in my raps, because I know what hip hop is, and I feel like this is dying. And those artists I said, including myself and many more artists that I'm not naming in Detroit and around the world, we got to bring that hip hop back for rap take over hip hop, because that's just a sub genre in hip hop. We can't let the sub genre take over the big genre.
Right. I think Bizarre is one of the people who's pushing that.
I love Bizarre. I always looked up to Bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like everybody. No matter if he ever put out music, everybody in Detroit is gonna love Bizarre and Trick Trick. Them just the homies.
Yeah, he was talking recently about how hip hop is kind of a lost art right now. We need to bring it back. Now, I've been to a lot of hip hop shows and events and everything, and I do see the heat and I do see the fire in it, but I also do see why like it's not getting the attention.
Me too.
You see it too, whether it's not. And now, do you feel like you're gonna be a pioneer?
Yeah, I am, because I'm like, all right. So if we go back to any hip hop artists, the original pioneers, they got the same story I got. And like, not saying like I'm the only one that got it, but all right, all the artists, all y'all, we got similar stories. Like the other rappers used to have back in the day, like seeing stuff around us. We trying to make it better. We don't want to stay in this. We don't want to brag on this. We want to get this money and get up out of here. This is what hip hop was, rapping about what's really going on, not glorifying it. They wasn't glorifying no music, no Rakim, Eric B, no Eric Sermons, no naughty by nature. Nobody was glorifying it.
Yeah.
Nobody was glorifying this stuff. They was talking about it and getting better. Slick Rick, it's so many people, so many great people. Like Biz Marquis, rest in peace. It's like I want to bring that back. Old Dirty Bastard, I want to bring that back. These people had grandmas and mamas who was on drugs. They was in the streets, but they knew how to articulate so good. Yeah. They knew how to articulate so good. It's like that's why I don't really agree with J. Cole a lot because of that. He can articulate, but he's not hip hop. He rap. Whatever his genre is, that's what his genre is, but it's not hip hop. And he mastered his genre. He probably created his own genre. Him, Wale, and Kendrick created their own genre, but that ain't hip hop. I'm hip hop.
Damn.
Street Lord Juan is hip hop. That's what hip hop is. Payroll is hip hop. That's I just told you, Rock Marciano, the people, Dave East. That's hip hop.
Man, wow, you have such a. You know the fucking game. Like, you know the history.
Yeah.
Like, you really know the history. You're a student of the game, it sounds like, for sure.
Yeah, I had my first deal at 13 years old. So I've been in this for a minute.
Talk about that, man. What's that like getting a deal at 13?
Your mama taking you to the record label and get you emancipated to the label, but you don't know that the label like you because you cornbread and not because you Duryea. They know I had to plug at 13. So the record label knew they wanted to get close to me because they knew I had to plug. After the situation went down with what I did, that's when the paperwork came out. I've been there every day for like 2 months and never recorded, all night in the studio. My mama gave me freedom. But at that time, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. Mom, come on, take me down the street, sign them papers over. Like, do that for me. But later on in life, I turned like 17 and 18 and I'm heating up in Detroit. Because at this time, I'm like not the first, but I'm one of the first artists in Detroit in my generation, the class of 2008, 9, and 10, who was a rapper. And anybody who rapped in Detroit will tell you this. I had a song called All White Buffies. So I had that song. My mama, we signed that paperwork. Like I said, a few years later, I read through that paperwork and seen that I was on that contract till I was 21.
Wow.
I ain't know. He only gave me $5,000 in recording time. No money.
So what the fuck was the deal? Like, what do you...
I told you he signed cornbread. He knew Duryea wanted to rap.
$5,000 for 5 years?
No, that shit was more than 5 years, bro. I was 13.
God damn.
I was 13 till I was 21, bro. I read that shit and said, what the hell?
That's the wackest shit I ever heard.
Crazy, bro. I didn't even... I'm like... But that's why I didn't never sign nothing before with nobody. I'm independent. Everything come from me. It's like, oh shit, my bad.
Oh, you're good.
But everything come through me. Like, I don't want to get signed by nobody unless it's like beneficial to me and my management company or me and King or something like that. No individual contracts with Duryea Hozay.
Now you got a documentary that's that did pretty well.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man. What was the process like behind building that documentary?
Yeah, that was lit. TheRealStreets.com. My man TC, man, he drove all the way from I think it was in Cleveland at the time. I met him on YouTube.
1 second, is that camera? Can we wait for that one, Nick?
Dude drove all the way from Cleveland, came to Detroit.
Yeah.
Now at this time, he went to like 100 cities. He got a big following. We ended up linking up, and he interviewed me. I showed him around Detroit, the East Side. I think I'm the first artist to have a Detroit documentary. I think I am the first one. And I think Snapdogg had one out there and like a couple more others.
What year was it?
2017.
Yeah, because T's was like
20 or 19.
Yeah, well, 19. Yeah, so yeah, you beat them. Yeah, most likely.
So I had it. So it was like, it's probably close to 100 right now, but I did like 4 different versions. That's when I was just like hosting. But I just wanted to get the city of people. Like I was on YouTube and I seen like Detroit so like a secret society, but now we getting open, like thanks to people like you. And people actually able to hear Detroit stories and know how people really are here because nobody ever knew before you. And before my interview, before my documentary, I felt like that too. Like, damn, nobody even know about Detroit. I ain't see shit on YouTube. Let me put something out. Let me put something out. Got in touch with TC, and then the rest was history.
Legendary, man. Oh, you want to bring that mic a little bit closer?
Yeah, the rest was history.
Yeah, man. No reciprocation from that was probably overwhelming because even to get like, listen, man, documentaries are hard to get people to watch.
Yes, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You did some numbers on that shit.
Yeah, not nothing paid for. It was like, you look at the comments, people comment so many funny comments, bro. It's like so much stuff. And then at the time, I was like, making a transition from the streets. So you see me with the buffs on, with the ice in the buffs. I was in the streets, but I was just trying to show people what was going on. And, you know, here we are right now.
Yeah, man. No, that's legendary, man. You've accomplished a lot. You put a lot on the table, man. The music's solid, and it's interesting to see somebody that's on that side of the world. Like, I was working at a law office before, and I was still very invested in the hip-hop scene.
Right.
And it was interesting because the lawyers... Like, if I mentioned a rapper's name, they wouldn't know who the fuck I'm talking about. So it's a completely different world. If I say to somebody here, if I say Payroll Giovanni over here, everybody in Detroit,
what you mean? We love Payroll.
Yeah, if I say Payroll Giovanni to a lawyer, you forget these motherfuckers don't know shit.
They think you're talking about an Italian mobster.
Exactly. So it's crazy when you go into the kind of business world and you realize, whoa, some people don't even know this shit exists
At all.
You know what I'm saying? It's a very interesting thing. So being involved in it, you don't even need that. That's the interesting part about what you do. My sorry, not the.
Your success.
My what I have going on.
Your success
works because it's relevant to what's going on.
Right.
In this community that it's going on in.
Right.
You don't have to have that to go do Fortune 500 Fortune 500 company business deal.
You can look like and be like anybody.
That's the interesting part, man. So like living both sides of that. Kind of talk about how it feels to be in that world where you're both on. I think you're probably the first person I met that's at that level with that shit.
Yeah, I'm talking about man, gracefully, man, and I was able to get around some rich ass people in the Fortune 5. I'm talking about Olympic sized pools. I'm talking about all type of $300 plates, big steaks I never can't even pronounce. And me coming from Detroit, I'm like, hey, this might be different right here. I don't know. But me having more time in the streets, it just was always coming out of me every time I get in the business. So like I had a lot of good situations going on. I always blew them because I was punching people. Like I just couldn't stop like fighting, like childish stuff like that. Like because in Detroit, that's what we like. We don't want to argue. We don't want to. We getting it popping instantly. Like ain't nothing going on. But in the business world, you cannot do that. You're going to get the office closed. You're going to get the contract cut. You're going to lose employees. You can lose the space. Just everything can go wrong, and that's what I was doing. And I was just fighting people, man. And I had to balance that out. I had to get that street mentality out of my mind. And seeing the rich stuff mixed with dealing with my own failures, I was able to do better with it. But the street shit was so fun, though, bro.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, well... I know you missed some part of it.
What you mean? Of course.
Wait, get this straight. Were you in the boardroom like I'm about to sock this motherfucker? Right
as soon as we walk out the boardroom, I'm socking him. As soon as we walk out the boardroom, he think I'm playing. As soon as we walk out, I don't care how big he is, we walking out, I'm punching him with the suit on because I wear suits every day.
Man.
Besides this, I wear a suit. Yeah, so like I already blew the $1 million situation. I got an office. Everything was like customized for me. They knew I was coming. They paid for me to live. Everything was good. But I got into it with a dude and we got to it. And all these situations don't happen in Detroit, obviously. I'm in Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I've been in like 40 states, but I lived in like 20. And like 15 of those came from this business world and this business aspect.
Yeah, man, it's like not all movies really are about the transformation of a human.
Right.
That's every movie is based upon that main character transforming part of who they are, leaving something behind.
Right. I never thought about that. That's true.
Yeah, and so in your aspect in your movie, it was leaving that maybe that temper that you had and maybe that anger that you had. It's not going to cross over well into this new world.
No, it can't cross over in the new world because it's gonna ruin it. That one little thing, I'm still battling with that every day, but I ain't punching nobody. I'm hanging up on people now. Now I'm hanging up. My cousin told me today, like, cuz, I'm steady putting the phone on me, like, dog, what the He like, cuz, you gotta chill out. You're a CEO. Stop acting like that. I'm like, bro, I'm still not used to it. 4 years of being a CEO and I'm still not used to it.
It's relevant in hip hop too, though, because you'll see a lot of artists that succeed and become really, really successful, but they'll still be a part of the hood life or the trap life.
Nah. We ain't doing that. That's why I can't believe I made it out.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like even if it is the business world or if it is the rap world, the entertainment world, some people don't leave that shit behind that holds them back. And
don't.
and you know, it's cool to meet somebody like you that's very conscious and aware of it, and you know the steps that's needed to take to progress your life and progress who you are. And it sounds like it's a bigger picture than just yourself.
Yeah, it's way bigger than that. It's like when I met my cousin. I mean, I knew once I was able to put it on camera and like video, I knew it was like real. Cause like when you think about it and you got all these video ideas and then it start happening, then it's like, oh yeah, I can really touch people. Then if I can make the videos, I can touch people. If I can touch people, I can change people. Met my cousin on YouTube, like to help me crystallize this. So it's like I'm on YouTube, small story. I'm on YouTube. I'm looking at videos. He on his first video. I click it. I say, "What's up? I'm Cornbread. Hit me up. I'm trying to shoot some videos." We shoot like 30 videos. Now we got like 30, 40, round that amount. But come to find out, this really my cousin for real. So I didn't even know that we really was cousins this whole time. Never knew this was my cousins.
Wow.
Same last name.
Damn.
Daddy and mama grew up with each other. Never knew that. So met him. I was able to crystallize my ideas. And then now we touching people, so it's bigger than me. Like I deal with kids, I love kids, I love the youth, I love helping them. But it's like people give up on the adults, and I ain't trying to. Hopefully, my music can stroke the adults' mind, you know, too, because it ain't too late. It ain't never too late. Ain't never too late to change your mind.
Look, man, this has been a very insightful fucking talk. This is one of the most insightful talks I've ever had on this podcast. It's really great seeing somebody like you that came from the mud and really lived through
East
that.
Warren, Mac Ave to be exact.
Yeah, man, and came from an area where you know you're fighting to survive, and you went through the street life. You went through everything that people are talking about to this day in their music, but then you know got over to this whole new world, which is the business world, the professional world, and you had to leave your old ways behind in order to prosper and bigger success for yourself and accomplish what you've accomplished so far. So it's awesome having you on, man. Is there any social media links you can shout out for people?
Duryea Hozay on every platform.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for real. Just look me up on YouTube, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook. Tap in with me, Golden Leaf Music, GLMG. You know, I got the management company. I manage artists too.
Oh yeah, talk about the managing the artists.
I manage artists. I got Jizzy. I got Benetton. I got Rico Street Zelly. I got a few more artists too that I'm working with. So I work with artist development. I've been doing that because, like I said, I got signed at 13 years old. So obviously, I'm like, I know about that aspect of it. And then also, I've been a part of a lot of artists blowing up in Detroit and outside of Detroit. So
how does somebody qualify to be a part of your program?
Want to invest.
Mm.
You like not even a lot of money, just show something. Like if you can just say I got something that can help you, cause like everybody want to rap, everybody want to do this and that, but they don't want to put no money up. They don't even want to put the smallest money up. A lot of people will never pay you to come on here, bro. They got the money, bro. They got the money. They're not gonna pay, bro. They're not gonna pay. But the ones who really serious about it, guess what they did? They paid you, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people ain't like that. You know, so those people I'm looking for that's gonna willing to invest in yourself, contact me in my DM or contact Urban and Visuals. And shout out to Jizzy, her birthday coming up, Benetton, Rico Street Zelly, and I'm always looking for new artists to help me and King.
For sure, man. I appreciate you for being on, bro. Hopefully come back in a few months, give us an update.
Oh yeah, I got you for sure.
We're shooting at Parallel Sound Studio. High Low Visual shoots these productions for us. We're out. Peace.